Hello, my name is Natasha Hanisco, and I'll be talking about my Makerspace project, Build a House. So this project allows the students to apply the abstract idea of building a house, which they'll read about in the story, or they'll listen to from the story, and then put it into an authentic context and like a hands-on experience, and it allows them a chance to work with other students to create their final product. So it's got collaboration, and it adds an authentic context. So it connects libraries and STEM education by allowing the students to collaborate together and create a physical product that shows their learning. This adheres to several of the AASL standards, including Inquire Create 3, which is generating products that illustrate learning, because they would create the actual model of their house. Collaborate Think 2, which is developing new understandings through engagement in a learning group, because the students are put into small groups for the activity. And Collaborate Grow 1, actively contributing to group discussions, because the students will have to have conversations about what they want to include in their house, and then how are they actually going to produce that product? How are they going to make that design? So my experience with creating the project was that it actually was a little bit more difficult to build a house out of Legos than I had initially thought. Once I started building it, and then thinking with I was doing it myself, and then just like trying to negotiate all the things that I wanted to include, I had to make some decisions about things that I couldn't feasibly include. Like I'd originally wanted to put like a swimming pool in the back, but for practicality purposes, I had to decide not to do that. And I would assume that the students would have similar conversations, because the story is all about these like fantastic things that the little boy wants to include in his house. And so the students would, I'm sure, come up with things like that, and then have to decide realistically what could work and what wouldn't work. I do still believe that it would be suitable for a project with elementary age students, though. So the challenges that I can foresee would be things like, the kids trying to put too many things in their project, and maybe trying to make it too complicated. So they would have to talk amongst themselves and decide what would work for their project, and sort out those challenges on their own. I could also see that maybe some students would struggle with certain parts, like how to make a roof out of Legos or out of Lincoln Logs is actually not as simple as, like I said, that I had initially thought it would be. So I think it would be a good idea to be working around the room and helping any groups that are struggling. And also like having the teacher in on the project too, having them like letting them know ahead of time, like some of the groups might struggle with certain parts. So to be aware of that and have the teacher helping you as well. So advice that I would have for other people would be, like I said earlier, I would go ahead and like let the teacher know ahead of time, before they come into the library, that this is going to be the lesson and that you're going to need their help walking around the room and working with any groups that are struggling, bringing their design, like putting it together. I would also say that I would make groups of Legos, like small groups of Legos, and make sure that they include things like the window pieces and the door pieces. Those are going to be things that are definitely not easy to make for little kids. And so I would make sure that if that group wants to do Legos, that they need to have doors and windows in the allotment of Legos that they get. So I would make those allotments in small containers ahead of time. That way every group definitely has what they need to complete their project. As far as cost goes, I already had Legos and I had Lincoln Logs, and I think those are pretty common in most library maker spaces, but they are actually pretty expensive if you don't have them. So I would ask the community for donations, because I know a lot of children outgrow those toys, and parents might donate those things if they are aware that there is a need. So I would reach out to your communities and ask for donations for Legos, because like I said, they are pretty expensive, and the Lincoln Logs are too. So I thought this was a fun project, and I thought it paired really nicely with the book. And the book can be purchased on Amazon for about $9. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed my project. Thank you for listening.